What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledParents.
This story's called Entitled Mother Tells My Parents' Family I'm a Psychopath. I'm not sure if this fits the entitled parent, but she's a parent, so I'm gonna write it here. A little background. My mother adopted me when I was a baby. Since then, she's been molding me into the care for her elderly years. Guilt-tripping, saying she adopted me so I owe her my lifetime, etc. I'm an only child, so naturally, this obligation fell on me. However, she comes with debts. About $50,000 in debt. I have to take care of her, of my grandmother, of my uncle, and of my adoptive father, plus her debt. Therefore, in her mind, she cannot afford to have me running loose away from her. A little more background. I met my partner long way back. We were dating for 2 years, then I got pregnant. He's a very responsible man, so he would take care of the situation. We did not talk about marriage. We didn't want to get married, but seeing as it's the only way to give our child the best set of security and future, we married and I moved to his country. Yes, I was gonna leave my mother and all the responsibilities she pushed on me behind. The story. I was already 5 months pregnant when I had to travel across the continent to the other side of it. My partner and I bought my plane tickets, but my adoptive mother wanted to come with. My partner didn't mind because he didn't know her so well and maybe she should meet his family too. I complied as long as everyone was comfortable. My mother traveled with me on the plane. I was 5 months pregnant, had bleeding issues, and yet she told me to carry all of the things. Great. I originally sat at the aisle seat of the plane. My partner planned this out so I would have the easiest access to the bathroom. My mother got cranky about it, asking us to switch, and so I said fine because I didn't want to get any more upset. Once arrived, she didn't do crap. I had to get the luggage myself. The doctor advised me against doing heavy lifting. My mother just sped up her way to hug and kiss my partner's cheek, who was waiting at the exit. But these are all irrelevant to the story. I just had to write these out because I'm still annoyed with her for that stupid crap. The true story. 3 days into staying with my partner's mother, this was around Christmas time, my mother would put ketchup and mustard on everything my mother-in-law made. My partner and I, including his siblings, thought this was super rude, but my mother didn't think so. She thought the food was bad. I, however, thought the food was amazing. These would cost us easily $89 if we got them at the store. But oh no, my mom just had to ruin them with ketchup and mustard. Side note, my mother doesn't usually do this. Putting condiments on food had never happened before, and the ketchup/mustard would end up on 95% of the food. Here's the cast. Partner. Mother-in-law. Me. Entitled mother. The kicker of it all. Hey, I just want to let you know that your mom had been saying some weird crap. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how she's comfortable saying all these things to my family. Well, what has she been saying? In a nutshell, she told my mother that you're unstable emotionally, you're an apathetic psychopath who's feared by everyone in your household, and that you've mistreated her. That was when I was waking up. So once I took a thoughtful shower, got dressed, I went to ask my mother-in-law about it. Is it true that my mother has been saying some weird stuff to you? Yeah, the things she said, I know they aren't true at all. I knew you since you started dating my kid. You're nothing but a nice and kind girl. Thank you for not believing her. I would never ever believe her, OP. I know you, don't worry. She's not a real mother after all. So after confirming this with my brother-in-law as well, I went asking my mother about it. I heard you've been saying some weird things. I have absolutely no clue what you're on about. Don't lie. They all told the same story. Stop ruining my life already. I'm not. I just want to see if they can love you like I do. Very BS. I know you ruined my other relationships as well. She looks at me with shock in her eyes. I swear her face went pale. She didn't think I would know? The truth was, I asked my ex's friend about why he just left. He explained my mom was saying all these things and they scared him away. But in this relationship, I was pregnant. I moved to his country for the baby's sake of a great future. Were she to be living with just me and my mother's $50,000 debt? I doubt she'd seriously have a good life. and my mother was willing to ruin the baby's chances at life just because she was petty about not getting a foreigner of a husband herself, and that she had to find a way to get rid of her debt that I did not contribute to at all. Stop going around and telling people that I'm crazy. They obviously know me better than you do. Stop bragging about your earnings just to afford me. And stop ruining my mother-in-law's food with ketchup and mustard. That's rude and very low. But the food is bad. Am I supposed to be putting up with that? No, but you can leave. I know that'd make my pregnancy a lot easier if you did. Then she just screamed at me. I went down to my partner instead. She came at me and we fought. My partner sat there holding my hand. Once everything was done, I did not talk to her or let her be anywhere near my pregnant belly at all. She even had the audacity to tell my mother-in-law that my partner and I were fighting, on the verge of breaking up, and that she mediated it all. There is so much more crap that my mother has done, but this one truly piqued me off, because she was willing to ruin a child's future just because. That's truly sick and disgusting. After she left, she kept sending my partner messages, telling him how handsome he is, how kind he is for taking care of my psychotic booty, and she reminded him how crazy I am, using our fight as an example. Alright, there is some more information provided. Wow, thanks for the support, everyone! Few things I have to mention here, I suppose, is that 1. This happened 2 years ago. 2. My daughter is now living her best life without my mother's influence on her. 3. We cut her off because she made it very clear that my small family means nothing to her. 4. My relationship has gotten a lot better without her around. 5. I mentioned I didn't want to get married because I didn't see a point in it. But when we had a child coming, this was the best tactic so we could all be a family. I just think if I had a wedding, my mother would ruin it, so... Okay, so I don't know about other countries, but the foster system in America is not good at all. Okay, these kids, they end up having horrible lives a lot of the time, and even if they get adopted by loving parents, things don't always go right. So I'm not sure how it is in other countries, so I can't really be like, oh, at least she was adopted and, got a chance at a good life, but because I don't know the comparison of adopted life versus non-adopted life in the country wherever she's from. But, it's a good thing. She's got a good family now, she's got a decent relationship with her in-laws. But I will say this, if you adopt a kid, they don't really owe you anything because you're adopting them to be your kid, you are their parent now. And I know that good parents don't make their kids owe them anything for doing their job as, parents. That is a horrible thing to instill in a child, oh, I adopted you, so you owe me this much, you gotta pay my debts and take care of me. While ideally, your kids will take care of you in your old age, but, not because they have to, but because they love you. You gotta be loving parents to get the love back, Not try to sabotage their relationships. If you treat your kids good, they will treat you good. This story's called, Aunt Blames Me for Her Not Seeing My Grandma Before She Died, and I Should Pay a Fine I Got for Her Son's Unregistered Van. So, kinda long story. Now, I know what you're getting into. Background. I live in a small town in the middle of nowhere. All my family live in a city, a 2-day drive / 3-hour flight away. That's Australia for you. Same state, city is forever away. But I go down every year to do some volunteer work and see my grandparents. I go down for 2 weeks, but I'm busy the entire 2 weeks with volunteering and seeing as many people as I can. I have much younger siblings and they all stay with my aunt. I stayed at a hotel in the middle of the city to make sure I can get to where I need to be. My aunt kept messaging me. Let me know what days you have free so we can all go to see your grandmother together with your siblings. I told her, I still don't know my schedule yet. I'll be flat out and I'm staying near the hospital. You guys go whenever without me. I'll go when I have spare time. My brother asked me what my schedule's like and when we're all going to see her together, so I knew my aunt didn't relay the details. I told him the same thing. I'm busy. I don't know my schedule. Don't wait for me. Go see her. I'll see her when I can. I managed to see my grandmother a couple of times. The last time I made the hour drive to go pick up my brothers, and an hour back to the hospital to see her, an hour back to drop them off, then an hour back to my hotel. I did that because they still hadn't seen her yet and they needed to. That night, she passed away. I woke up to a ton of missed calls. When I called my aunt back, she said, Wow, you finally decided to check your phone and call back? Look, we're all meeting up at the hospital now. We'll see you there. I didn't really reply. I was still processing it all. I get there and everyone is a mess as usual. But my aunt was rude as hell. Said it's my fault that she wasn't able to see her one last time because I couldn't coordinate with her for a time and she was stuck waiting around for me. She lives here. She could have seen her every day the last few months. But I couldn't be bothered. I was still in shock. A lot of family were flying in that day as they heard the news. My aunt told me to take her son's van. I approach him, ask him if it's okay, and he gives me the keys. While driving, I got pulled over by the police. They ask whose car it is, and then they tell me it's unregistered. I get a fine, and in Australia, our fines are not cheap. $400, more in other states. He asks where we're off to, I explain, and he gives us a little permission slip to drive where we need to go, and that's it. I get back, and I'm angry. I've got a lot of strong emotions with everything going on, and I'm just really stressed. I say to the son/my cousin that I got a huge fine because his car isn't registered and that isn't cool. He was sorry and was real remorseful. He didn't have a lot of money. I knew he couldn't pay the fine for me. I just wanted to vent. My aunt interjects and says, "You're an adult. That's what happens and you gotta pay for the fines yourself." Pay for him not telling me his car isn't registered? Yes, as an adult you should ask those questions before you borrow someone's car. Is it registered? Is it safe to drive?
You told me to drive it!
If I came to you and wanted to borrow the car for a week, I'd ask these questions. If you ask me to go down the road and take his car, it's your responsibility to be aware of the condition of your things you're giving out and if it's safe to lend to others. No, what you need to understand as an adult, when someone lends something to you, you're in full responsibility of it. If it breaks while you have it, you need to fix it and have it returned in the same condition or better. That's what decent people do. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but nothing broke while I had it. I didn't borrow it for 3 months and the Rego ran out while I had it. It ran out a month ago. That's the same as you clipping the brakes before giving it to me. I crash and you saying it's my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. I drove safely. I was doing what you said. Are you saying it's my fault for your nephew not paying his Rego and telling me? He wasn't aware his Rego ran out. He had been overseas the past month. Forgot. I understand and I'm cool with him, just not her twisted logic. Yes, because that's what adults do. She rambled more, but I couldn't be bothered. We were both a little too emotional to be sensible. I said fine, spoke to him, and he was real sorry. I told him it was cool. Fast forward a year later. She won't let me drive any of their cars, use any of their things, because I don't understand how the world works and don't take responsibility. And blames me for her not seeing my grandmother before she passed. But I don't recognize it as my fault because I don't take responsibility for my actions. I just can't be bothered to talk to someone that still isn't open to listening. Here's some additional information. I just wanted to push forward how stupid the way she sees things is. All her kids are compulsive liars and thieves, not her fault. But my brother tried getting angry at the kids for stealing and breaking his laptop. But she said it's his fault for not taking care of his things and keeping them safe. My brother is a youth worker and stays on site with the kids for 3 to 4 days at a time. His laptop was in a bag in a crate tucked away. We stayed with our aunt to try and get a little footing when we started a new life in the big city. Boy, let me tell you, she is one of the greatest motivators to move out as quick as you can and not be fussy with where or who you live with next. Okay guys, is it just me or does it seem like she's always swimming in the longest river in Africa? Because it really seems like she's in denial. This story's called Entitled Mother Wouldn't Let Me Have My 18th Birthday Party at 8 p.m. because she's afraid of mass shootings. I'm a 17-year-old female who's about to turn 18 in a week. I had discussed my plans of having a birthday party to her weeks in advance, because that's just family policy. And she had given me her word that I could have anything I want for my birthday and invite whoever I want. But my mom has a history of saying promises, then taking back her word after the promise was made. So I knew to take this with a grain of salt, but I was still really excited. Fast forward to today. I tell her that the roller rink where I want my party to be held has a public session from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. And that's when I want the party to start. 8 p.m.? Way too late! Can you have it in the afternoon and then come home at 6? But in the evening, they have the disco lights turn on and they play old school music too. They don't turn on the disco lights during the afternoon sessions. I don't care. Do you want to die? Get shot by a bad guy? What about all those nightclub shootings that happened last year? They all happened at night. Do you want that to happen to you? I'm getting slightly emotionally upset because I knew she would do something like this. Well, Mom, there's still security guards there, and it's an indoor setting that's perfectly safe. And I still have my pepper spray and taser you got me. Could you please make an exception for my birthday? You're not being a good kid for disrespecting me right now. When I was a kid, if I asked my mom to buy me a toy and she said no because we don't have money, I didn't cry. And look at you, you're crying. I can't believe you're about to be an adult and you're still crying like a little kid. Me? Now bawling? The difference between that example and my party is that your financial situation was tough. And we have the financial means to have my party, but you're too afraid of everything outside your house to even let me outside for more than a few hours at a time. You never leave the house because of how afraid you are. When he gets home, I'm talking to your father about how you're talking to me. Who the hell raised you to be so rude? Fast forward to when my dad gets home. I hear them talking about me. I hear my mother say that she shouldn't even get a party anymore for how she treated me. Luckily, my dad understands how horrible my mom is, and he persuaded her to let me enjoy the start of my adult life by staying out late. But at this point, I had gotten so stressed during my heated argument with her that I wanted to cancel the whole party myself. It's so freaking difficult to spend time with my friends because of her. It would be best to save myself the hassle and not deal with it anymore. But Dad told me I will have a nice party no matter what my mom says. So now I can still have my party, but they said they're going to be sitting in the corner of the rink watching me skate with my friends. Oh yes, that's a good way to kick off your kids' adulthood. Yeah, let them start it by resenting you, okay? Okay, if you make a promise to your kids, I really think you should do everything within your power to keep it because, you know, that teaches them the importance of promises and that allows them to really trust you. And also, I think it's insanely stupid when parents act irrationally scared of doing basic things. What are you trying to teach your kids? Goodness. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.